Peter Sutcliffe was charged with 13 counts of murder and 7 counts of attempted murder. His trial, which began in 1981, was widely publicized and closely followed by the media. Sutcliffe's defense team attempted to argue that he was suffering from a mental illness, specifically claiming that he had been delusional when committing the murders. They sought to have him declared insane and committed to a psychiatric institution. However, the prosecution painted a different picture of Sutcliffe. They argued that Sutcliffe had been fully aware of his actions and had planned and executed his murders with chilling precision. The court rejected the insanity defense and found Sutcliffe guilty of all charges, sentencing him to life in prison. The judge described him as a highly dangerous individual who posed a threat to society. Despite his conviction, Sutcliffe's case remained controversial. In the years that followed, questions were raised about his mental state and whether he should have been held in a psychiatric facility rather than a regular prison. Sutcliffe's behavior in prison further fueled the debate, as he continued to exhibit disturbing tendencies and had occasional outbursts of violence. The aftermath, a nation shaken by the crimes Peter Sutcliffe's capture and conviction, were a relief to the people of Yorkshire and the United Kingdom as a whole. For years, the country had been living in fear of the Yorkshire Ripper, and the sense of closure brought by his conviction was bittersweet. The families of his victims were left to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives, but there was a sense of justice at long last. However, the case also highlighted significant flaws in the police investigation and how law enforcement handled the case. The mistakes made during the investigation, particularly the distractions caused by the Wearside Jack hoax, prompted a reevaluation of how similar investigations should be conducted in the future. The lessons learned from the case influenced changes in policing practices and investigative techniques, making the Yorkshire Ripper case a landmark in both criminal justice and law enforcement history. Sutcliffe's killings also raised questions about how society views and handles cases of serial murder. His crimes, along with those of other infamous serial killers, have contributed to a broader understanding of criminal psychology and the factors that lead to such horrific acts. Conclusion: a killer's legacy and its impact on crime investigations. Story of Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Ripper, is a tragic and chilling reminder of the horrors that can lurk in the most unsuspecting places. It is a case filled with missed opportunities, misdirections, and a killer who slipped through the cracks for far too long. However, his eventual capture and conviction marked the end of a dark chapter in British history, and it is a case that continues to shape our understanding of criminal investigations today. As we reflect on Sutcliffe's case, it is important to remember the victims and their families, whose lives were forever changed by his actions. The police blunders, the media sensationalism,